For as much as I love Link's 3D adventures, I have to admit that I'm more of a 2D Legend of Zelda fan. That's why I was so excited to discover Guardian Tales, a brand new free-to-play adventure game that takes inspiration from classics like A Link to the Past and Link's Awakening, all while adding a level of role-playing depth that'll keep you busy long after Tears of the Kingdom comes out. Hello citizens of Switch Planet, my name is Cyril, and today I want to tell you why Guardian Tales is my newest Switch obsession. Sometimes you just know that a game is going to click with you right from the moment that you turn it on. That was certainly the case when it came to Guardian Tales. With its retro-inspired pixel characters, cool anime designs, wacky sense of humor, and tons of loot to collect, I just knew that I was going to devote a lot of my time and energy to this addictive hack-and-slash dungeon crawler. It's the kind of game where there are so many levels and side missions and things to do that I had an incredibly hard time putting the controller down. Originally released on mobile platforms back in 2020, Kong Studios has brought their wildly popular adventure game to the Switch, and it's a perfect fit. It tells the story of a newly recruited Guardian Knight who immediately gets thrown into the deep end when otherworldly invaders take over the nearby forest. This is just the start of what turns out to be an epic adventure full of ghosts and goblins and monsters and more. It's your job to team up with the locals and push back against the invaders and save the kingdom any way you can. You do this by teaming up with strangers and taking on a wide assortment of stages, both big and small. There's a nice mix of fast-paced action where we'll use swords, guns, bows, hammers, and even rocket launchers to defeat the bad guys and overcome the bosses. What's cool is that every weapon and character comes with their own skills, adding some much-needed strategy and fun to the combat. However, it's not all hack and slash, as you'll have to do a fair amount of puzzle solving. This includes everything from pushing crates to lighting torches. There are also stages where you're going to need to sneak around guards, forcing the team to be as stealthy as possible. Much like the classic Zelda games you grew up with, some of the levels will unlock new items and abilities they can use to open up new areas of the map and solve different kinds of puzzles. For example, early on, we get running shoes, allowing us to outrun traps, as well as weirdly competitive strangers that just seem to want to race. In a later stage, you'll unearth the grappling hook, which you'll use to reach areas that were previously unavailable. What's cool is that you can use these new items and abilities in some of the previous stages, giving us an incentive to go back to those sections that you already played in order to collect all of the goodies. Now, one thing that I really love about this game is how each world is completely different. Not only do they look entirely different, but they're also filled with unique monsters, characters, stories, and even lore. In one stage, we'll be ghost hunting our way through a haunted magic school, while in the very next chapter, we'll get involved with a political struggle in the middle of the desert. These stories vary wildly and offer a surprising amount of variety to the game. You'll never know what you're in for or who you'll run into next, which is just one of the many exciting things about Guardian Tales. And this extends far beyond the main missions, because each chapter is filled with optional side quests that'll come with their own stories and plot twists. You'll get these from characters who desperately need your help, creating a brand new branch on the overworld map. If that wasn't enough, there's a whole bunch of side stories that are completely unrelated to the main quest, or even the main characters. You'll find fun movie parodies and short adventures based around the different holidays. No matter how you want to play, there's a staggering amount of content in this game. That's the thing that impressed me the most about Guardian Tales. This is one of those adventure games that looks simple and straightforward at first, yet continues to get deeper and deeper the more layers that you end up pulling back. Take the dozens of cool anime characters as just one of the examples of this. On top of constantly upgrading their weapons and perks, we're also able to evolve the character in several important ways. This involves not only awakening stronger attacks and more health, but also expanding their unique abilities and upgrading their limit breaks. Oh boy, and let me tell you, that's just the tip of the iceberg. What's especially cool is how we're able to do this with all of the heroes in Guardian's Tale, and I have a hunch that you're going to want to collect them all. That's a big part of this game, and you're going to want to talk to everybody and complete those quests, even the optional ones. What's cool is that the game actually knows that you're going to want to assemble these wildly different heroes in all kinds of ways, so it gives you multiple spots to save your favorite party configurations. Guardian Tales knows that you're going to sink a lot of hours in order to upgrade and evolve your favorite characters, and I was impressed how easy it was to do just that. A good example of this is the Rift, which is a mode that you'll unlock early in the game that'll let you take on different dungeons designed to help you earn resources, awakening stones, skills, and more. There's also the Tower mode that will allow you to take on a near infinite amount of challenge levels in order to earn some much needed items and weapons. This is a whole different part of the game that'll suck you in for hours at a time. And all that's before you join a guild, take on the competition in the Coliseum, or go on an adventure with the multiplayer mode. Yeah, like I said, this is one of those games that just keeps getting bigger and more detailed the more layers that you pull back. But look, even if you completely ignore the bonus modes, the multiplayer gameplay, and the fun side stories, what we're left with is a great looking and great playing adventure game that gets so much right. The stages are expertly designed and include both puzzle and combat sections, forcing you to use both your mind and your muscle. Best of all, the stories generally build up to a fun and epic boss battle. I love the look and style of these massive beasts, but you gotta watch out, because all it takes is just a few well-placed hits and it's game over for our heroes. The truth is, Guardian Tales is great looking through and through. I'm a big fan of the pixel characters and the ever-changing world that they exist in. The game does a lot with the backgrounds and the cinemas, and I love the old-school style. It also has an equally epic soundtrack, including a few tunes that are going to take a couple of weeks to get out of my head. From the bosses, to the disparate stages, to the way the story unfolds, it's hard to fault the presentation here. The graphics take me back to the good old days of the 2D Legend of Zelda games, yet it adds all the modern bells and whistles that you would expect. It really is the best of both worlds. Now, it is worth mentioning that Guardian Tales is a free-to-play game. While the phrase free-to-play often comes with some baggage, I didn't find that here. Without spending a single penny, I was able to get through the chapters and find all kinds of great weapons and items. This is a game that is extremely generous when it comes to new players, making it one of the better free-to-play games that I've ever played. There are also a lot of incentives to not only play through the stages and modes, but also to come back and check in every day. For example, right now you can get 50 free summons between December 27th and January 10th. And with new content being updated regularly, I can see myself coming back to the adventure for months to come. With its fast-paced action, clever puzzles, amazing cast of characters, and tons of secrets, Guardian Tales really impressed me. This is a throwback adventure game that will remind you just why you fell in love with The Legend of Zelda to begin with. You can grab the game right now for free over at the eShop, and I highly recommend that you do. With its funny stories, massive bosses, and cool customization, this game is going to really surprise you. You can find a link to the game in the description box below. I think you should give it a shot. You won't regret it.
弱くて相手になれないね。弱くて相手にならないね。次。
Okay everyone, thanks so much for watching. If you liked that video, please leave a like and subscribe, and ring the bell if you want to get notified when we release new content. We hope to see you in the next video.